Hello.
Hello, Mr. Scully.
Yes.
Hi there. My name is Josh Earnest. I'm the White House press secretary.
Oh my gosh, I certainly know the name. How are you, sir?
Every year, the president gives out something called the Presidential Medal of Freedom. It is
yes.
it's the highest civilian honor that any president can give, and this year he's going to give it to you.
Oh my gosh, no.
Yes. So you've had.
Are you sure? I'm just an old baseball announcer. I'm rather overwhelmed and humbled.
And
Thank you so
sir.
much, Josh.
It's my pleasure. Take care. Bye.
Bye for now.
How cool is that?
Hey, Josh, that was very cool. That ranks as the best moment, in my opinion, from the Obama White House. White House Press Secretary Josh Earnest making the call to the legendary baseball broadcaster and voice of the Dodgers, Vin Scully, that Vin will receive the Presidential Medal of Freedom. That honor is given to individuals who have made especially meritorious contributions to the security or national interest of the United States, to world peace, or to cultural or other significant public or private endeavors. That sounds exactly as if it came from the charter. And getting away from that legalese, two folks who know whereof they speak. Right here alongside on the anchor desk, we have Miranda and Ed Berliner. Ed,
you read that very well, by the way.
Thank you very much. Except I got meritorious out. The other stuff kind of got to me.
That's a mouthful.
Now,
right
typically it's ladies first, but you will forgive me, Miranda, since Ed and I cut our teeth as sportscasters. Vin Scully, this is just great.
It's a perfect choice. I've had the honor of interviewing Vin a number of times. He is exactly what you hear. He is humble. He is kind. The man has never once in his life said a negative word towards anyone, and all he does is bring people up. Even when the Dodgers stink and we're a terrible team, he made everybody happy with his words and the way that he speaks. It's a brilliant choice. It's so fitting. He is truly one of our great national treasures. Always has been.
The cool thing, I have been so blessed in my career to do so many different things. And when I was in Cincinnati, it was a Sunday afternoon, I was getting in the press box elevator, and a cab pulls up, and I hear this, "Hold the car," that inimitable voice, and here comes Vin with his suitcase on rollers. He had just done the game of the week for NBC Saturday and coming back to do the Dodgers game. He walked right into the booth to do the game, got there right on time, and we were on the way up, and of course his mentor was the legendary Red Baba, who had been in Cincinnati. We had a delightful discussion about Red. He goes up, and then, fast forward to my time after Congress, I'm in San Diego doing sports radio and get to see him again, and we're on the elevator and reminiscing. A wonderful guy, a wonderful selection. No, he never called a game involving your Kansas City Royals,
That's
Miranda.
all right. Won't hold
Well, it's
you.
because he did games for winners.
Oh, well, wait a minute.
Now, wait a minute.
Sorry.
We won a
No,
World
that's true.
Series
Okay,
not
but
that long ago.
you're right.
Hello.
That was really just a shot. That's all. I just had to take that. Seeing as I'm a Red Sox fan, we have to take those shots.
He's an American League fan. Well, I'm a Tigers fan, so we've got it all out on the table about the American League. In terms of the criteria for this most American of awards, President Obama put out an official statement. It says, quote, "The Presidential Medal of Freedom is not just our nation's highest civilian honor. It's a tribute to the idea that all of us, no matter where we come from, have the opportunity to change this country for the better." Now, we have the ability to put up a partial list. I understand we might have it. A partial list of those receiving. And there are some of the names. Why, look, there are other guys in sports and in entertainment and in acting. And you know what's kind of curious is some people are pointing out that a lot of these folks look like they're big Obama backers. I'm sure that's just a coincidence.
Why are you shocked by that? That shouldn't shock anybody. Wouldn't every president do that specifically? A lot of presidents specifically pick along party lines. But I would dare to say that list that we just saw, would you say that anybody there didn't deserve it?
Well, let's see, De Niro early in his career, but maybe he got it for what he said on the campaign trail a couple of months ago. Let's cue Bob De Niro in a rant against Donald Trump.
He's a punk.
He's a dog. He's a pig. He's a con, a bullshit artist, a mutt who doesn't know what he's talking about, doesn't do his homework, doesn't care, thinks he's gaming society, doesn't pay his taxes. He's an idiot. Colin Powell said it best. He's a national disaster. He's an embarrassment to this country.
To which President Trump, we understand, responded, "You talking to me?" Oh, that's something from another one of De Niro's.
That's an embarrassment.
Flicks.
That's back when you liked him.
Now, well, the thing is, De Niro, look, actors can ply their craft and do a good job. I think that stuff was over the top. And it didn't work for anybody. In fact, not to get too far afield, but the last appeal from Hollywood, when they chose to become especially profane in trying to appeal to people to vote for the Democratic ticket, just doesn't get there. But here's a great shot of years gone by, Stevie Wonder getting the medal. And there's Donna Shalala with George W. Now look, there's an interesting situation. George W. Bush giving that award to Donna Shalala. So that's across party lines, and there are people who need each other.
Please don't
That's
say.
right. Thank you very much.
Please don't do that.
No,
De Niro went over the line. I mean, certainly with what he said, that did not help his image at all whatsoever. It did not show a tremendous amount of class. He's a marvelous actor. He's created some iconic roles. But that in itself right there is something that he should be ashamed of for the rest of his life, because it still involves another individual that doesn't deserve that from somebody who supposedly has class.
So what about it, Miranda Khan? Let's see, we got Lorne Michaels, Saturday Night Live, the humor. I guess Lorne, though, technically, well, he was a Canadian, right? I'm sure he's gotten his citizenship.
Okay, so because you're a staunch conservative Republican, I was sitting there and listening to you talk about the definition of this award. You know, somebody came to mind, Dr. Ben Carson.
Yeah.
I think he's a prime example of what President Obama was talking about right there.
Who would be your pick? And we were sitting here thinking about any number of military guys, but again, this is a civilian honor. Right. Ed, who would you pick?
I have a special choice, a gentleman named Mark Ching, who I've had the chance to interview. He is the head of a group called the Animal Hope and Wellness Foundation. This is a gentleman who took his own money and his own time, and he went to the Yulin Dog Festival in China, where they skin dogs alive and eat them. And he put his money and his time to bring this to the attention of the people around the world and in the United States. And he can't do it anymore. It took such an emotional toll on him. But he raises a tremendous amount of money. He brings these things to the attention of people with not wanting a nickel for himself. And I think that helps make our country and our life just a little bit better every single day. Shameless plug. AnimalHopeAndWellness.org is where he raises money. Marvelous man.
Love that about you.
Who's your pick, Miranda?
Gosh, I don't know
said
if
Dr.
I can.
Ben Carson.
I mean, there's so many people that come to mind. I mean, I think of Dr. Ben Carson. I'm thinking of some of the guests we've had on our show, Nancy Brinker, for all the work she's done with breast cancer. Those are some of the guests that we've had here. Whether you agree with her political views, Oprah, huge. If you want to go with someone recently, Gwen Eiffel, huge influence for a lot of
brilliant journalist,
young women, especially minority women. I wish that, you know, her family could receive that award. There's so many good people.
There are. It's you know, we have a tomb of the unknowns. And you think about people who work really hard, and this is not a slice of rhetoric, because both parties, when you work hard, you play by the rules. But when I was working in South Carolina, and maybe you remember the name, Steve Durham, guy who played defensive tackle for the Clemson Tigers, went on to play for the Colts in the NFL. His dad, and I'm ashamed I don't know Mr. Durham's name. I only called him Mr. Durham. His second job was coming to the NBC affiliate in Greenville to do custodial work. He worked all day long. On the weekends, he supervised nonviolent offenders who were doing community service. And on Sunday, it was church day. The guy never had any time off.
That's a brilliant servant.
And he was humble. And he was hardworking. And he and his wife raised a family that is exemplary. And I think of the Mr. Durhams. In every community, in every hamlet, in every county, who don't gain this attention. They're the real people who typify the Medal of Freedom. because they are free, but they feel the responsibility to be accountable to their God, to be accountable to their spouse, to be accountable to their family, and in turn, to be accountable to their nation.
They do something special for other people. And they don't ask for anything in return. Those are the people. You know, just quickly, I know he's made a lot of money, but Bruce Springsteen, quietly and without any fanfare, gives hundreds of millions of dollars and raises money for so many charities every single day. And never once does he bring any attention to himself, much like somebody like that.
Well, Steve Malzberg might have a different idea about the boss, but we'll call him Brother Malzberg sometime. For now, Ed, Miranda, thank you very much. And up next, a day in history. And what did Kellyanne Conway really do in the campaign?